So you and I are walking down this weird street. Now, the thing about this weird street is that a lot of people are on this street. But the thing that makes this street really weird is the fact that there is a ladder right in the middle of it. The ladder goes from the ground all the way up through the clouds. And nobody knows where this ladder leads to. And since no one knows where this ladder leads to, they just act like the ladder doesn't even exist. But one day, you and I, we get so curious that we have to climb the ladder and see what's up there. So we begin to climb, and about an hour later, our heads pop through the top of the clouds. And that's when we discover that the ladder is leaned up against this floating island. Now, we get off of the ladder and we walk on the grass that's on this island. And we look out and we see this huge, vast sea of white clouds. As we're walking on the grass, our feet begin to melt into the grass and we started to twinkle our toes because the grass felt so good. And that's when we discovered there is no dirt in this grass. So we're walking, and we run into a group of people, very small group of people, about 5 people who discovered what was up this ladder. So you were excited to see them. They were excited to see us. We sat down together, and as we sat down together on the grass, we all merged into the grass, and it was as if the grass hugged our bodies. It was like we became one with nature. Now, as we're sitting there, we look out onto this vast sea of white clouds, and all of a sudden, boop, boop, these beautiful cloud swirls look like little baby tornadoes. They started to pop up and they had this crystal mist that every time they spin, all these little sparkles would go everywhere, and it was so beautiful. So we're sitting, we're watching the show, and all of a sudden those little cute little clouds turn to huge clouds. In fact, they began to get so big they really did start to look like tornadoes. And then you looked around and the white, beautiful clouds were now storm clouds. The entire scene had changed just that quick. Now, as you looked down at your feet, suddenly you had on boots. Why did you have on boots? Well, when you stood up, remember that small group of people, about 5? Yeah, well, that was about 500 people. And you had on boots because the grass that didn't have dirt, all of a sudden, it was filled with dirt. It was muddy. Now, you're looking around like, what happened? And as you're looking around trying to figure out what's happening, you feel yourself falling. That's right. The weight of all of these people is bringing the island down. And what was once comfortable, what was once beautiful, is now a place of destruction. So as the island is sinking, you realize, dang, everybody saw us climb this ladder and they followed us. And because so many people followed, and because so many people got on the island, it brought the entire experience down. So some people began to get really scared. And they said, you know what? We're going to jump, or we're going to go back down the ladder. So some people literally jumped just to get out of the storm. And some people went back down the ladder. Now you have some people who was like, listen, I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to ride this island till the wheel falls off. And when I crash and burn, I crash and burn. But not us. We looking like, okay, first of all, we're not going back down. That's not an option. But we definitely can't stay here because we're not about to be trapped in this storm. And it's inevitable. The island is going down. So if we do stay here, we're going down too. And that's when we decided we can't go back down. We're not staying here. Our only choice is to find another ladder and go even higher. Boom. And that was the end of it. Now, that was a very, very vivid dream that I had. And it started off like, y'all ever seen, was it Avatar? It started off like that. It was so beautiful. But then something switched, okay? So I'm going to be breaking down this dream. I'm going to be analyzing it. I'm going to be giving you guys what each of the different things involved, the different themes that I got and picked up when I woke up from this. And then I want you guys to stick around because You need to know what this means for us, okay? We, the chosen ones, we, the 144,000. We are the ones on that island who are kind of there first, you know? And there's about to be a multitude of people, you know, imitating the 144,000. There are going to be people trying to fit into spaces that they don't belong, trying to look like a chosen one, okay? So we're going to have a lot of fake chosen in disguise. They're going to end up in spaces that they don't belong, and it's bringing the value down. Okay, now in each and every single one of you, you individually have your own way that this is breaking down. Okay, but let me tell you what I got. So first of all, let's start off with the setting. Okay, that ladder. Remember that ladder that was in that city, always been in that city, but nobody paid attention to it, right? Nobody really cared. You are a trailblazer. You are the type of person you let your curiosity lead you to success. Now, this ladder is a portal. It is a road less traveled. A lot of you guys are doing stuff that some people would never think to do. No one ever thought, well, let's just climb to the top of this ladder and see what's at the top. Except for those select few people. Just hold that thought. So this ladder represents what you have. It is your idea. It is your book. It is the scary thing that no one wants to do. But as soon as you do it, oh, they're going to follow you. But once too many people follow you, it's going to get oversaturated. Okay, again, each and every single one of you, this may be different. For example, some of you ladies may say, you know, I'm going to sell hair. And then you start selling hair. And it's going crazy. But then all of a sudden, this girl see you selling hair, she want to sell hair. This girl see you selling hair, she want to sell hair. And the thing about it is, they didn't want to sell hair ever until they saw you selling hair. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I'm talking about. So let's talk about the island in the sky. Now, that island in the sky is 5D. Okay? It's a cool place to be. It's a sacred space. Right? So when we talk about like spirituality and all that kind of stuff, these are the heights that a lot of people never get to. These are the sacred spaces of the subconscious, right? This is higher knowledge, okay? Now, when we got up there, we saw those people. There was only a select few people who know certain information. Right, as we're in this spirituality age where everybody's learning things now and getting introduced to concepts that they've never heard before that are actually working for them, you know, like the law of attraction and, you know, thinking what you want to attract and visualization. Like these things are relatively new subjects to a lot of people. So because a lot of people are catching on, it's actually bringing it down. Okay, so those people who were up there, they had respect for the craft. They had respect for the art form, okay? Remember that word respect, because now it brings me over to the grass. Remember the grass where you twinkled your toes and it was no dirt, right? So it's no dirt, no insects, there's no mud, there's no mess. You don't have to worry about anything, right? It's a place that's comfortable, okay? Now, you were welcomed there. That was your welcoming. That's why when you sat down and the grass seemed like it hugged you, it laid you out, and you were like in a hammock, right? That was nature giving you a hug. Nature respects the chosen. Nature respects the 144,000. You want to know why? Because we respect nature. Nature knows us and we know nature. So in that dream, the grass was so, I don't know, it's like you fit, right? That was the other part of it. You were in a space where you fit. Okay, the ancestors wanted you there. The angels wanted you there. Nature wanted you there. Okay, it molded to your body because this is where you belong. Okay, so then we have those clouds, the beautiful white fluffy clouds. It looked like a sea. Okay, it had a nice flow. It was peaceful, right? This was a special sight that many are not gifted to see because we live here on Earth. Right, and we look up at the clouds, but rarely ever, unless you're like on an airplane or something, rarely ever do we get the perspective above the clouds. You see what I'm saying? So for a lot of us, we get a perspective that most people won't have. They don't get that type of thinking, you know, that chosen type thinking. And then those sparkly swirls. Remember I told you guys saw like this reverse fireworks show where it wasn't the clouds coming down, it was the clouds coming up, right? And they were swirling like little baby tornadoes. They were really beautiful and pretty. Those represented higher knowledge, sacred information, and wisdom, okay? So in this world, we would just be like, okay, we learned some more information. We seeing things from a higher perspective that a lot of people can't. Now, you know that scene switched, okay? Drastically, dramatically, right before your eyes. And now I want to talk about the extra people. I want to talk about those followers, okay? A lot of you guys are about to have followers, period. If you're part of the chosen, majority of us have been put in leadership positions. If you're not in your leadership position yet, you stay tuned because it's coming, okay? So in this leadership position, you are going to have people who see you, right? This was broad daylight. Those people who were already up there, they must have snuck up there at night. They kept it quiet. But now we're living in a day and age where the chosen aren't going to be hidden anymore. A lot of the 144,000 are being thrust into the spotlight, as I said on one of the other videos. So you're not going to be able to hide. People are going to copy you, okay? I got followers, clout chasers, and even haters, okay? Even the people who envy you will still try to bite your style, okay? So let's talk about it. First of all, they saw you. So you got people looking at you right now as you're doing something amazing. They're either saying, "Ooh, I want to do that too," or they're saying, "I could do that better than them." Whichever the case, they see you and they're about to do it, okay? Someone's trying to follow in your footsteps, good or bad. Doesn't have to be negative, but just people are about to follow in your footsteps up that ladder. The other thing is up, okay? A lot of people walk and they look forward or they look down, but rarely ever do people take the opportunity to look up. And crazy part about it is, a lot of times that's where the answers are, in the up. In your mind, in the higher realms, you know what I'm saying, that upper hidden knowledge, okay? So what happened when all those people came? Well, it started to oversaturate the island, and it started to bring it down. Like, a lot of people didn't have to take the time to put in the work. There it is. Putting in the work. A lot of people did not put in the work, and they were able to still climb up, right? So that's what created the storm. Okay, so just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do it, especially if you're not called to, because it creates a bad energetic flow in the spirit realm. So dark and scary clouds now, right? Now it's bad vision, right? It's unclear. These are harsh conditions. It's storms. It's lightning bolts running through. And the crowd, these are followers who saw you climb. They didn't belong. They wasn't welcome. Nature didn't give them a hug. And by the time they got there, the ground wasn't even grassy no more. It was filled with mud. Now why? You got people who caused the conditions to change, because although they came all the way up there, they came up there with a low vibrational mindset. Some people came all the way up that ladder just to argue, just to fight, just for status, just for fame, just for the money. They didn't come up for the right reasons. And nature knew that. The island knew that. That sacred space knew that. So it started to put people back where they belong. Right back down there, ma'am and sir. Okay? So that's what was happening. And that's what's happening right now in the energetic realm. You're going to see that a lot of people are going to start to dwindle. Why is that? Well, because nature or the universe or God, however you want to conceptualize what's happening, they're being brought down because they don't belong. You should have never been right there in the first place. So this is what's happening. If you see things going on around you, and you're trying to figure out, like, what is the reason? Well, this is the reason, okay? Now, that dirt. In real life, you know, we need dirt, okay? We need dirt for the grass to grow, for the plants. We need dirt, okay? But in this dream, the dirt represented the toxic energy coming from the crowd, okay? They really didn't have a purpose in being there, right? They are messy, low vibrational. They're filled with fear. Although they climbed up there, a lot of them did it scared. Again, low vibration is what changes the atmosphere. Now, what about the sinking island? Well, the value of the space is being brought down. In other words, the vibration, the entire vibration, the entire frequency was brought down. Okay? And that's another descriptive for the island. The island is a vibration. And the whole island, or the whole vibration, was being brought down because of low vibrational people. Now, let's talk about these people, okay? So on this island, there were 3 types of people, all right? You had the go back down crew. These were the people that were scared. These are the people, you did all that climbing to get all the way up here just to shake in your boots and go back down, okay? That's also like, I'm going to try something one time, and as soon as I try it, it doesn't work out, I quit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't take it. Or I do something and they laugh at me, or I'm embarrassed and I'm humiliated and I'll never do it again. Okay? You start and you stop. You give it your best and it doesn't work out that first time, so you quit. Those are the group of people who went down. You did all of that just to turn around and quit. Now you got the group who are going to stay there. Well, you know what? I climbed all the way up here. I'm going to stay right here. Okay? To me, the stay right here is the people who are in their comfort zone. And also it represents a group of people who know they don't belong, but I'm going to just stay until the wheels fall off because I ain't got nowhere else to be. These are people who are in things without their whole heart. They're not really passionate about where they are or what they're doing, and they're contributing to the death of it. But since they won't get off, it's like, well, I'll die with this thing. For example, these are jobs people cannot stand. You hate your job. You know eventually the company's going to close. You know it's all going down. And instead of trying to find something better or do something where you're fulfilled, something where you're having all this passion, you just said, I'll just stay here until I get fired. Or I'll stay in this toxic relationship until, one thing happens to where I'm forced to be out of this relationship. You know what I'm saying? These are the people who have the ability to make a choice, but choose to stay still until life itself forces them off the island. Okay? Gotta stay away from those people. Okay? Then there was us. We are the Go Higher crew. We're the type where it's like, listen, I'm not going back to the person I used to be. I'm not going back to the conditions I used to be under. I'm not dealing with the type of people I used to have to deal with, and I'm not dealing with certain energies and vibrations of low vibrational people. I'm definitely not going to stay here in my comfort zone because I can see my comfort zone will be the death of me. If I stay on this island, which is the comfort zone, I'm going down with it and everybody else here. So you and I decided it's time to think higher. It's time to do something more. We got to think bigger. We got to think better because we're not going down. We're not staying here. We're going up, baby. So as part of the 144,000, as part of the chosen crew, I don't care what situation you're in right now, it's time to go higher. I'm going to need for you to think bigger. I'm going to need for you to think better too. I'm going to need for you to think more than the average person. A lot of you guys don't realize that a little while ago, just a little short while ago, we were in a situation where it was so beautiful. It was so wonderful. But because of followers, because of clout chasing, the island is oversaturated and it is falling. So if you are a chosen under the sound of my voice, you are going to have to go higher. That doesn't mean work harder. That doesn't mean that you have to go out there and go through the blood, sweat, and tears again, because we already did that. You just have to be still and be quiet and receive your next piece of information. Because what you're going to be required to do in this next season may look a little different than the last season. But believe me, you'll be a lot better in the long run. Because if you stay on that island, you're going to crash and burn. But if you with us, we ain't got no choice but to go up. So I hope y'all with it, and I'll see y'all in the next video.